Hey everybody, welcome to Slash Bash, where today I am bringing you another Choosing Beggar Reddit video. If you are new to the channel, then subscribe and click on notifications so you don't miss out on the fun. In our first story, a choosing beggar doesn't like his pizza. Time to start with the threats then. Let's jump right in. For context, this was about 4 years ago. I used to be an assistant manager at Little Caesars. I get a call about an hour before close from a customer calmly stating that he picked up a supreme pizza about 30 minutes ago, brought it home, opened the box, and said his pizza was burnt and had to have been sitting in the heater for at least 8 hours. We can't sell a pizza if it goes over the hour mark after it comes out of the oven. I tell the man he can either bring the pizza in and I'll replace it, or I can mail him a coupon for a free supreme pizza next time he comes in. At this point, the man goes from gentle and understanding into full Karen mode. I don't exactly remember the conversation word for word, but it went something like this. "You want me to drive all the way there to fix your mistake? I am sorry about your pizza, sir. If you have a problem, we can fix it now, or corporate can send you a coupon." "No! I am driving there right now. I am getting a full refund and you are remaking this pizza. You expect me to feed my family with this stuff? I will show you and make you taste what you are about to feed my family." I make a fake laugh. I was about to quit in a couple of months at that point and really didn't care. My boss also was always on my side when it came to crazy customers. "You are not going to do that. Bring it in, I'll replace it, or you get the coupon. Those are your two options." He says, "See you in 15 minutes, and hangs up. I make him his pizza, and after 30 minutes, he finally walks in. I put on my fake smile and ask what he needs. "I'm the butthole that was on the phone. I want to speak to the manager." "I am the manager. What can I do for you?" "I want my pizza, and you're going to pay me the gas it took for me to come here and fix your mistake." I say no. If he has a problem with that, he can call corporate. The number is on the box. He wants me to give him my boss's phone number. I tell him no. He opens up his old pizza and says, "Look what you were going to feed me and my family. Do you think this is acceptable?" The pizza looked old, but definitely not 8 hours. More like 2. I say I'm sorry for the inconvenience and give him a big fake smile. "You're gonna lose your job." I say good luck and tell him to have a great night. "Flip you, kid." I wave and never heard anything from my boss about the incident. Story number 2 shows us a choosing beggar Karen showing up on our OP's flight. Seems that seating issues on planes is the go-to thing right now, so I thought I'd switch it up with a luggage issue. My story happened last year. As a side note, this was also in Canada, and the airline I was using recently changed their fees for luggage, so not only do you have to pay to check in all bags, but for some people it can be quite expensive. I was traveling to school from my hometown, which is a small and short flight. The plane itself has the propellers on the wings and only 4 seats in a row, so it's extremely cramped. I'm over 6 feet tall, and the leg space is always an issue for me on these types of flights. As per usual, I check in my bag with all my clothes and necessities, and had a small carry-on bag with my laptop. I also had a large rolled-up poster with me that had my thesis on it. At that point in time, I could have considered it my most valuable possession on that flight. So cut to me during boarding. I happily place my bag and thesis in the overhead compartment. I barely take up any space because my backpack lays nearly flat, and my thesis, although lengthy, is almost invisible because of the curve of the back of the compartment. The person beside me already placed their bag in the compartment, and even though his bag was much larger, I had no issues fitting my stuff in. Now comes the choosing beggar. This Karen-looking mother flipper walks in late on the boarding time. So late that I'm certain that it was to the point of announcing it over the radios. She enters the aircraft with her carry-on, if I could even call it that. The bag was massive and packed to the brim with what I'm assuming was all of her clothes. She makes her way to the back of the plane, close to where I was seated. You can tell she was looking for a place to store her carry-on while waddling her way to her seat. She was 2 rows behind me, and I can hear the constant shuffling of her trying to fit her bag into overhead compartments. She ends up slowly making her way towards my seat, at which point she tries putting her bag on top of mine. I look to my side at her as she reaches over me just to have her big gut in my face. For obvious reasons, I don't want her bag on top of mine. My laptop is pretty expensive and only a month old at this point. It's also a very thin laptop, so I'm worried her soccer van of a bag will warp it. And even worse was that she would have ended up squishing my thesis poster up against the inside of the compartment. Another underlying issue I had with this scenario is that she has the option of putting her bag under the seat in front of her, sacrificing her footroom, of course. This is why I pay the extra baggage fee, so I do not have to worry about sacrificing the legroom my long legs need. After about a minute of shuffling on top of my stuff, she leaves, and I thought it was the end of it. Happy enough, I put my headphones back on and forget about it. That is, until another minute later a flight attendant comes with Karen's bag, takes my stuff out, and with plenty of struggle shoves Karen's bag inside the compartment right above my head. While holding my green backpack in her hands, she looks around asking whose bag this was. Of course, I put my hand up. The flight attendant politely asks me if I could put my bag under the seat in front of me. I'm in shock as this whole thing takes place, and because I don't like conflict, I accepted. I looked back at Karen while this was happening, and she wasn't even watching. It's as if she expected her bag to be put there like she deserved it. It just makes me livid that all this was her fault entirely. We're in the section of the plane that gets boarded first, and if she was there on time, she could have found room to put her crap. Or if she wasn't a cheap POS, she could have paid to have her flipping luggage checked in like I did. Although this is unfortunately another plane story, the real unfortunate part is that this choosing beggar, Karen, got what she wanted, while I suffered with no leg space and a very warped thesis poster, which made it a pain in the butt to set up for my presentation and increased my anxiety tenfold in the process. Thanks for listening. I know I could have handled it differently like all the other stories I've read through in the past couple days, but in retrospect the flight wasn't that long, and although my knees were sore after, I still managed to sleep on the flight. In story number 3, our Opie shows us his wife is too nice to deal with choosing beggars. Now before I start, the choosing beggar in this story is not as Karen as most of the choosing beggars here, but it infuriated me to the core. So my wife just started her own vinyl printing business. Although we just started, we are building a nice customer base and following, which is great. Enter choosing beggar. She initially asks for a semi-complex order. With our pricing option, the total per shirt was $15 with tax. Due to some miscommunication, Choosing Beggar was mispriced at $10 per shirt. No biggie, we informed the customer, and as it was our mistake, we let her get the shirts at the lower price. Fast forward, Choosing Beggar contacts us asking for 28 more shirts. For us, this is a large step in the right direction, as at $15 per shirt and fees, the total would have been $435 with tax. Now you may look at this price and think, that is a lot. However, if you went to a regular shirt company, the lowest price you could find would be roughly $490 plus with tax. Well, after we sent the quote off, the Choosing Beggar proceeds to explain, but I only quoted my family at $10, meaning they only collected $280 total. A bit shocked, we again explained that based upon the correct pricing and additional material and labor involved, the price we quoted was fair and reasonable. After going back and forth a bit trying to get Choosing Beggar to understand the concept that a business exists to make money, she then asked us to do it for the $280 anyway. Now, there are those choosing beggars out there that throw their sick relative or kids under the bus to get a discount. In this scenario, the shirt design was specifically made for a sick relative. So, with puppy dog eyes, my wife asked me to calculate to see if we could do it. After crunching the numbers, we could do it and possibly make some profit. However, not enough to make it worth our while, and definitely not enough to cover labor involved. After bouncing it back and forth for 2 hours and me advocating against it, my wife folded to the choosing beggar. Now we are 8 hours into the labor, with roughly 12 to 16 more to go, and I'm still a bit sore about it. But my wife keeps reassuring me it's good practice and it's for a good cause. In our final story, we have a choosing beggar Karen at the hair salon. I work at a hair salon that exclusively offers styling services, no cuts or colors as a stylist. We have a 10-minute grace period for appointment times, but after that, it's up to the manager on duty's discretion and how busy we are as to whether we can still take them for the service they booked. If not, we sometimes offer a styling-only service, no blowout, just hot tools. We have time to fit them in. One day, we're fully booked, and a client shows up 20 minutes late for her blowout appointment. The manager lets her know that we can either take her for a dry style, which she refuses and insists her hair needs to be washed, or the next available appointment we have is a time several hours from now. Well, Karen doesn't like this answer very much and starts saying that when she comes back at X time, she wants a scalp massage and conditioning treatment, and she's not paying for any of it for the inconvenience. My manager calmly lets her know that any add-on services would need to be paid for as the lateness was on her part, not ours. Cut to X time. She surprisingly shows up, gets paired with a coworker, and even though I'd clocked out for the day, I desperately wanted to see how this all ended. She started complaining about having non-existent frizz and picking apart the blowout. After she's finally satisfied with the style, she goes up to pay, the receptionist goes through the spiel and gets to, "Would you like your receipt emailed?" She responds with a, "No thank you, I won't be back," and flounced out the only way a Karen truly can. And yes, she paid for every add-on service she asked for. This has been John from Slash Bash. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and want to see more of them, then please hit that subscribe button. We'd love for you to drop a like, share it with your friends, and we will see you in the next one.